The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I am Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world where we can recover our natural health and our rights and our freedoms. And as you can tell, Nico is away, so we're going to play. And I'm excited to hear that Al has got us a little clip sometime later in the show so we can see how Nico is doing on his vacation with his son David out in Colorado, checking out the Colorado Bigfoot. He's got some great videos if you follow Nico on Facebook, and I think we're going to see a clip of that a little later today. Make sure to pick up our Health Signals newsletter so you can stay connected. News you can use. Twice a month, $10 gets it into your mailbox twice a month, every month. And pick up some of our Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It gives you all the minerals, amino acids, and so forth that you need to stay healthy. Today, we're going to be talking with my special guest, Robby Besner. And Robby Besner is the Chief Science Officer of Theragoods, a partner company that I'm involved in, and we're helping to bring healthier water and infrared products to people to stay healthier. And of course, we're taking your questions at 877-927-6648. And you can reach me at paige@tfnn.com or nico@tfnn.com. And we'd love to get your feedback, comments, and find out what you want to know about so you can live healthier. Before we get Robby on, I wanted to kind of cover a couple things. Today we're going to discuss what are some of the benefits of sauna therapy. And, you know, it's not just for relaxation. There's tremendous benefits to sauna therapy. And in addition, is it possible that saunas are the next big performance-enhancing drugs? We've got some research that talks about why people who are interested in optimal health and peak performance would want to encourage themselves and their families to use saunas, and also the effects of it for cleansing and detoxification. So I think there's a lot of information to cover around sauna things that we can do by using a sauna daily. I want to discuss a few things before we get into the sauna. I think we're going to bring Robby on at the beginning of the next break. And I think that I want to share some of the things that have been going on and in regards to our general health and hit a few highlights of information. One of the things that we've learned is that there's widespread vitamin D deficiency, and it may very well be due to sunscreen use. And this is also creating an increase in chronic disease. And one of the things that we know is that when we do saunas are actually getting us exposure to light, because there is a multiple spectrum of light, and I think Robby will explain that better to us when we come back. But this was an article that I found in Science Daily, came out early, and it said that the results from a clinical review published in the Journal of the American Osteopathic Association is finding that nearly 1 billion people worldwide may have a decline of insufficient levels of vitamin D. And this can be due to chronic disease, and this can also help create the environment for chronic disease to arrive. And it may actually be a result of inadequate sun exposure caused primarily because of sunscreen use. I think that sounds perhaps opposite of what so many people have been told. Well-meaning parents and grandparents and family members will often tell people, geez, you need to slather on that sunscreen before you go out in the sun. But could the use of sunscreens really be inhibiting our ability to absorb the healing rays of the sun, and we're finding that this is the case. Found that 95% of African American adults may have vitamin D deficiency or insufficiency, and it can actually vary depending on the rays. It has a lot to do with how your skin absorbs. So people are spending less time outside, and when they do go out, they're slathering the sunscreen on, and this is really inhibiting your skin, think of it like a big solar panel, from absorbing these healing rays and allowing the body to use vitamin D, which is actually a hormone, to affect over 300 different processes in the body. And while we want people to protect themselves and use common sense and not burn their skin, you don't want to be equivalent to destroying your photocells on your solar panels. We have to use them wisely, but we need to expose them. Regular exposure, frequent exposure, and at the proper time. They're finding links between chronic diseases such as diabetes type 2 and those that are related to malabsorption, including kidney disease, Crohn's, and celiac. These are greatly inhibiting the body's ability to metabolize vitamin D. So when we start to see chronic diseases, is it the chicken before the egg or the cart before the horse? Are we getting chronic diseases because we're vitamin D deficient, or are we vitamin D deficient and as a result we're getting chronic diseases? I'll bet you our expert, Robby Besner, is going to have some comments on that to help us. So as I mentioned, we consider this a hormone rather than a vitamin because it's produced when the skin is exposed to sunlight. And we have vitamin D receptors virtually through our whole body. And as a result, it plays a role in the body's whole functions. So it's important that we get vitamin D. Many times, the sunscreens that we're using today contain toxic chemicals that can actually be dangerous to our health. So if you are going to use a sunscreen because you're going to be out in the sun without shade or protective clothing, and you need to use it in some of those high-impact areas, seek out a sunscreen that's non-toxic and uses non-toxic ingredients, because then we're going to need to detoxify these poisons out of our skin. So much better not to add any additional ones. So as we have an increasing ability to maintain a high vitamin D level, it can be as easy as spending just 5 to 30 minutes a day out in the sun. You can do this midday, 2 to 3 times a week. That's when the sun's rays are optimal for vitamin D production. Robby has some interesting information he'll share with us regarding how exposure at different times of the days give you different exposure to the infrared spectrum, not just for vitamin D, but for the benefits of the lights and the light pigments. In other words, getting exposure in the early morning gives you exposure to different ultraviolet rays, and then perhaps 2 or 3 in the afternoon you might have exposure to different ones. So I'm very anxious to find out what he can share with us, how we can get a smorgasbord of this variety of light color to help us be the best at absorbing light and staying healthy so we can keep our vitamin Ds up high. So we have to take a short break. When we get back, Robby Besner will be with us. Stay with us.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And good morning. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. Real quick, I want to ask you guys to go to the TFNN homepage and click on our Primal Living Wake Up Morning Stretch, because it is early, and take a second to do that while you're listening to our show, and you'll be getting that blood flowing and loosening things up. And so let's go ahead. I think Al has my special guest, Robby Besner, out there. Robby, are you there? Ah, good morning. Hey,
yeah, I think so. Can you see me okay?
That is like living the dream. I mean, you know, you're putting your action where your mouth is. In other words, you're talking about the power of detox and sauna and integrating it into your everyday life, and there you sit. So how's it going?
You know, like it's going absolutely great. Thanks, Paige. And I was listening to you in the beginning of your segment about the vitamin D. Wow, how important that is. And you couldn't be more correct in your comments about the vitamin D deficiencies out there. They actually did a study. They randomly tested about 3 million Americans a few years ago, and they discovered that more than 8% of the American population just was vitamin D deficient. So that's kind of an alarming number. And just like what you said earlier, vitamin D, even though it's called a vitamin, it acts on inside the body and is really instrumental in so many metabolic functions that are so important for just daily health and vitality. You know, most women are sensitive to vitamin D because they, you know, as they get older, a lot of women are prone to have bone loss, that osteoporosis and so forth. And most women are conscious that you need to have vitamin D present in order for the body to absorb calcium, which is what, you know, the body needs in order for it to regulate and function properly. If the D isn't present, then you're not getting the proper calcium upload, and of course the body will draw it from somewhere, and then it starts taking it from your bone, which is what osteoporosis essentially is. So that's why when you buy a container of milk, for instance, it says the container, you know, D fortified, because the milk has the calcium, and in order for you to load the calcium into the cell or into the tissue, you need to have vitamin D present. So other things that you should know is that there's a really cool app for people that have your viewers out there that have Androids and the smart, it's called Dminder, D-M-I-N-D-E-R.
Yes, that's a great app. It's free, right, Robby?
Yeah, totally free, and you get it up, and it will sync with your GPS or phone. So, I don't know, I can launch it here. Basically, you load it into your phone, and it's free, and it syncs with the GPS. No matter where you are in the world, it can identify. It can identify position, mostly where you are positioned relative to the sun, and the sun is shining on that particular area, and it will tell you if you put in your skin, if you put in the kind of clothing you're wearing. Because of course, D is activated by your skin cell. There's a photo sensitive cell in your skin that's called a melanocyte, and that's the same area that creates melanin, which is what gives your skin tone. So, and I want to comment on your sunscreen, what you're saying about sunscreen in a minute, but anyway, so you load the app in, and then it will tell you exactly where you need to be positioned at what time of the day, and exactly how much exposure to get your optimal vitamin D for that day. Is that amazing?
A little bit frustrating. We're getting a little bit of feedback, and you're freezing up a little bit. Maybe Al can work on that
when we
have the break. But I want people to notice, if they haven't already, that you're sitting. You've got the sauna around you, right? So, yeah. So,
yeah. I'm going to show it to you in about a second, because I prepared myself to do what.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of feedback or delay in the service, Robby. So hold on a second. I'm going to see if Al can work on that connection a little bit. It's so disappointing because everything you have to share with us is so valuable. We're going to see if we can improve on that connection. But if you go to theragoods.com, you can see the portable infrared sauna. One of the things I want to cover with Robby today is, you see a zillion of these on the internet, but why is this one different? Even though it may look the same, what are some of the features that he's incorporated that make this sauna a very safe solution by way of remediating the EMFs and using natural tourmaline. Tourmaline is a stone that the longest lived people have a geological presence, or where they live. The geology is such that tourmaline is the stone, and it keeps the earth. It really helps to contribute to a long, healthy life, and how we've incorporated full spectrum waves. And so when we come back with Robby, I want to cover why full spectrum, and why, get back to that question I asked before the break, why is it important that we get sunlight, natural sunlight, at different times? Because even though we can supplement with vitamin D, there's nothing that's more powerful than getting your vitamin D from the sun, because it actually is more than vitamin D. What we actually need is many of the compounds that are created as a result of the sunshine. One of those is called cholesterol sulfate. And cholesterol sulfate is very important in a lot of enzyme reactions. And we get that, again, by getting exposure to certain parts of the day. So, can we get Robby again, Al? We're going to try and see if we can hear him. And maybe it's not feeding back. I'll give it a whirl here. Sounds like Skype's not behaving. I want to cover a few of the health benefits of using a sauna. And, the sauna and the sweat lodge is not something new. A lot of people act like they think using saunas is something that's been newly invented, but quite frankly, traditional cultures have used it for a long time. And in many different societies, the American Indians from the Nordic countries up north. And whenever Robby comes back on, I'll be interested in being able to see him. Are you out there, Robby? I can't see you. There you go. He's coming back. Did you work on the connection on your side?
Yeah, I'm trying. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I see you now. Yeah, I
okay,
see.
Perfect.
I see you now.
Alrighty. Sorry about that. It's probably on my end. I just put a couple more quarters into the meter, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell us what you got.
Yeah, so I was just saying that the program, that D-Minder program, is kind of nifty because no matter where you are in the world, you can set it up and it'll tell you your optimal amount of vitamin D that you need for that moment, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And what you were saying earlier was totally correct. I guess, as the sun is shining on the earth and the earth is turning, then the UV spectrum, which generates the most amount of vitamin D, is what's present first. So that in Florida right now, it'll be between the hours of probably around maybe 10:30 to around 1 o'clock. And then as the earth is turning,
So, Robby, hold that thought. We got to take a short break, and we'll pick up right there when we come back.
Very good.
Yeah, you sound
No
much
problem.
better now. See you in a minute.
Great. Awesome.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. Hey, Robby's going to be joining us here in just a second. I just opened my D-Minder, app that Robby had taught me about, and it says that the sun is at a 10-degree angle, and my next solar opportunity for vitamin D synthesis is going to be in an hour. So that's interesting because that's what I want people to understand. There are some really valuable sun rays, even as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. So, Robby, can you speak to that? Are you out there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yep, got you now.
Perfect. Yeah, the earlier part of the day is when the UV spectrums are present, and they come in three forms: UV, A, B, and C. The C spectrum doesn't make it into the atmosphere because the ozone layer actually prevents that. The UVC are the wavelengths that actually will kill bacteria and are relatively harmful for the body. And they're used to sanitize hospital rooms and stuff like that. Like when we had that whole Ebola scare and a bunch of the things recently, they actually used UVC to come in and knock all that stuff out. It's used in the food industry to kill parasites and bacteria and so forth, sanitize foods before they come in from foreign countries and so forth. So it's useful. But the A and the B is where we get most of our vitamins from. And what's interesting, Paige, is that your skin color, which is augmented, like when you get a suntan per se, and for people that are darker skinned, they actually need more light, more of these UV spectrums in order to properly convert their bodies to convert and metabolize vitamin D. So, and what happens when you get a suntan, actually a suntan is your body's natural sunscreen. So what happens is, as you get more exposed to D, it activates the color cells or the melanocytes in your skin. That gives you a suntan. That also acts as a filter, so that you need more light in order to get through, in order for you to properly metabolize and make the vitamin D that you need. So it's a funny mechanism, but the body's all set up, and it's a beautiful thing. And the science on vitamin D is really interesting, Paige, because what they're finding now, I think it's FDA or maybe it's the National Health Institute. They've come out with these statistics that say the average person should have a vitamin D level between 35 and 50.
That's not enough, I don't think.
No, I agree. And most people that I've noticed in clinic that have any kind of chronic ailment, they'll have vitamin D levels in the teens, because basically the anaerobes, the moles, the yeast, candida, all that stuff, it starts absorbing those natural nutrients. And like you said earlier, which was so perfect, you need that elevated vitamin D to drive these anaerobes out, and to sustain, health and wellness. So what we're discovering, some cancers and things like that, when you can get your vitamin D level in the 80s, between 80 and 100, then you're going to start driving. You change your internal chemistry, and these bad boys, the bad bugs I call them, they don't survive so well in that environment. So vitamin D is really critical. It's not just for calcium upload and bone loss. It's really critical for many metabolic functions. And I think as we move forward, the science on vitamin D is going to become much more prominent and important to people to understand.
Absolutely. And, I'm really excited that our premise is to say to people, look, get your vitamin D level up, get out to nature. Our first thing is, we're not trying to sell anything. We're just saying get the sunshine. And you know how much I love Dr. Stephanie Seneff out of MIT. And Dr. Seneff says that those hours between 8 and 12 are when we generate a lot of the cholesterol sulfate. And I just think a lot of people feel like, if I don't get out in the sun till noon or the afternoon, it's not good. But these morning hours are really crucial too, right?
Oh, totally. And you know what else? It's like after, as the sun is turning, or the earth is turning, and that relationship is shifting a little bit, what happens is that the next spectrum that comes in is the infrared spectrum. And so what's so cool is that, there's a lot of scares out there about getting too much sun, and it's going to create skin cancer and all that. And you have to be sensitive to some of that stuff. But, before modern times, in, the days of Jesus, Moses, Buddha, I always talk about those days, we were out there in the fields hunting animals. The whole animal kingdom is out there in the sun all day. And I don't think that the levels of cancers and so forth were as prevalent. And mostly it's because of this. What happens in nature is then there are some frequencies in the UVB spectrum that can shift your DNA and RNA and create free radicals. That isn't the best for you. Okay, so overexposure to those frequencies aren't great. But in nature, what happens is there's always a balance. And so whatever potential damage that can occur by overexposure to UV spectrum, right? You remediate by being in the infrared spectrum, which is the healing spectrum, the one that comes out next. So what happens in nature is the first light that's present is UV, and that's out for maybe 2 or 3 hours. And then what comes next is the infrared spectrum, which, of course, everybody knows is the natural healing spectrum. So whatever damage is done by UV is healed by IR.
Mother Nature is so wise, huh?
I know. And so the challenge that we have as a race, as a culture, is we get the exposure to UV, but we don't hang around long enough to get healed by the IR. So...
I think back, Robby, one time when I was a teenager, we were living on the beach, and I was taking care of my younger sister after school. And so I never really got out into the sun until about 4 o'clock. But in the summer, you had a lot of... I had the most gorgeous tan that year because I just, was in the afternoon sun. It was a gradual accumulation. So I really just want to encourage people to be an outsider, to get outdoors and absorb these rays and know that nature has her own wisdom in that there's benefits to getting it at 8 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, at 6 o'clock. Early morning, sunrise and sunset, that's a whole other conversation I'd love to have with you about sun gazing.
I know. And you know what else? I wanted to comment on your earlier broadcast when you were talking about sunscreens. So, we're both in Florida. In Florida, there's, the hot sun and all that kind of stuff, and people sometimes get carried away. But here, they promote a lot of the sunscreens and so forth. And as you mentioned earlier, many of those sunscreens that are on the market now that you buy at just Walgreens, they've got a lot of chemicals that
toxic
are very harmful. Very carcinogenic. So, and I'm happy. I do have a formulation that people can make their own natural sunscreen, and I'm happy to tender that to you after the show so you can bring it to the viewers or put it into your newsletter. It would be great. And so now this is the key, okay? And this is what I recommend when I teach, is that you go out, here in Florida, they say, don't go out in the sun unless you put on some of that sunscreen. But, know, the sunscreens, what they're doing is they're blocking all of the UV rays, not just the bad ones. And so what I recommend generally is that you go out and you get that 15 or 20 minutes or 30 minutes of that natural light before you put the sunscreen on. You activate the skin cells that are generating the D2 that then the body turns into D3, which is the one that we really want to get ultimately. And then you put the screen on. Then you do the filtering so that you at least get enough of that light.
I think those are great opportunities. I can't wait to get your recipe. Many of the listeners know last year I shared a pretty cool one. We'll compare notes when we get back from the break.
Okay.
See you in a second.
Perfect. You bet.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back. So how can we harness the healing energy of the sun when many of us are working 40, 60 plus hours? Many of you that are at your computer trading, you're busy all during the day. So we've talked about the power of getting out in the sun from early at sunrise and all the way to sunset. But many people are tied up during those hours. And here we go. There you go. You're all set up. Look at you.
Can you believe that? This is my brain tap. I want to tell you about this when we get into the... We're going to talk about the saunas now, right?
You've been telling me about the brain tap. This is Porter Systems, correct?
Yeah, Dr. Porter. It's amazing. And what we're doing, we created this whole lifestyle thing with infrared sauna, where you just don't get into the sauna to do the just to do the detox. You combine it with a whole bunch of other modalities, like we're bringing in essential oils, so you can put a couple of drops of this into a diffuser and bring the essential oils, which is really just like medicine, you know. Then you're a really big fan of this stuff, Paige. This is the fascia blaster. Remember this one?
Yeah.
When you're in that sauna, you just kind of rub it up and down, and you kind of work it around the areas so you can loosen up any of that, any of the cellulite, and break down the relationship between the fat that's holding the toxins and so forth. And then, of course, when you're in the sauna, you're pulling out all those toxins that comes out in your sweat. They actually did a study where they measured a drop of sweat from an individual in a hot rock sauna, a steam room, and in a infrared sauna, and because of the vibration, because of the wavelength that penetrates into the body from the infrared, it actually will pull out 85% more toxin was measured in a drop of sweat from the same individual in all three of those environments. So there's more than 100 years of science behind infrared, and it's amazing. So what's cool about this format, and what I did today was, actually, I've never done this before, Paige, but only for you. I'm going to be jumping into that sauna, so I know you're a big fan of Ben Greenfield, and what I noticed about his style is that he'll be on a treadmill, and he'll just, while he's living the dream, meaning
he's
that,
multitasking.
Yeah, and actually I think it's a great way to do it, and actually what we've created with the sauna, and the laptop is now sitting on a little keyboard stand, and that sits right in front of the sauna, so that while I'm in there and I'm detoxing, and I have my I can wear my brain tap, and I can do my guided meditation, and I can have also we added a module that brings extra oxygen into the cabin. It's called ozone.
Nice.
So you're cleansing, you're pulling out poisons, and your skin is breathing, and it's breathing in aromatherapy, so you can bring in
You're balancing your left and right side of your brain so you can make better decisions.
Oh my God, is this incredible? So you can do all that in 30 minutes a day. That's all we're asking for, you know. And generally what's nice is when you start your day there, that's what I do. I do my little sunrise meditation and so forth, and then I get into the sauna. I've been sleeping all night. I had my last meal. Maybe dinner was 6 or 7 o'clock, and so my body has been resting all night. I'm coming off of a fast. I get into the sauna. My organs are all balanced. I've been healing all night while I'm sleeping, and then there's no stress on my organs. And I get into the sauna and I start revving up my metabolism, and I warm up. You can. I think in about maybe half an hour, you can burn 300 to 400 calories while you're in that.
I think that's fantastic. Whether or not you're looking at it for weight loss or detox, what I'm trying to drive home the point today is using your personal infrared sauna or your full spectrum sauna is what we have here. You're getting those beneficial light frequencies that perhaps in our busy world we're not taking the opportunity to get, right?
Yeah, and that's actually the point. We're not grounded anymore because we wear shoes, so we don't get the earth energy, and that's really important feature. Something that we put into the sauna, the unit is grounded. It's like an earthing effect. And
that's
then we also
Robby. A lot of these other ones aren't. Yeah.
And then we introduce these. I don't know if you can see this, but these are natural tourmaline stone that we pepper on the panels, and so these generate what's called negative ion, which happens in a rainforest or at the ocean when running water moves over land, it creates a friction, or when the raindrops come through the atmosphere, the friction by the air releases these negative ions, and it's so important.
It's like walking on a beach.
Yeah, exactly, and it balances your body's energy. So that's really important for cellular communication. Your whole neurological system is based on electrical current, and so when you have the proper organization of the electric current inside of you, it's really important. And of course, for best practices, water is the key. So you have to do a lot of hydration. Generally, we ask for a nice healthy glass, maybe 8 to 10 ounces before sauna, and that'll promote sweat. And then as you're in sauna and the infrared frequency is sort of breaking loose all those toxins that are stored, they go into your bloodstream. And so there's generally 4 symptoms that you look for. It's possibly you could get lightheaded or dizzy or nauseous, or you could get a little lethargic, which means that you get a little tired. And that's just in the beginning for the first maybe couple of 3 weeks while your body is acclimating. And then you get more energized and you're feeling healthier and your skin is open. And many women say, actually, they tell me, Robby, I can't believe it, but I'm using less makeup because it improves the microcirculation of the little vessels under your skin, so you get that blushed look, that wholesome look, Paige. Remember that look?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so then your pores are clean, and so you're getting out all your poisons. It's amazing. So
what I want people to realize is that so many people say, I don't have time, I got to heat it up, I got to sit in there, I get too hot, my head gets too hot sitting in a big sauna, I don't have the room in my house for a big wooden sauna. That's why you really created this hands-free. Your head and your hands can be outside the sauna. And you're able to get these other things we do, whether it be your meditation, whether you just feel like you got to be on the computer getting some work done. Either way, it's a no excuse system, right?
Oh my God, are you kidding? If you can't carve out a half an hour a day just to help yourself and to make you feel better and to work on, the environment that we're living in these days is so toxic, right? We have toxic water now everywhere. It's coming out every day. We're hearing more about that. The air is toxic, as you know. And one of the major cancer conferences I was at recently, one of the doctors got up and said that they're in a raindrop now. There's 70% of a raindrop is filled with glyphosate, which is that Roundup, that chemical they use to kill insects in the soil. Right. So it's in our food, it's in the air, it's in the water, And so the only way that we can maintain a balanced, healthy life, which I know is what you're all about and what your show is all about, is to do something like getting infrared sauna to help you get out these poisons, because some of them are so so horrible and they're so insidious, they kind of hang with you. It's hard for your body to get them out naturally.
That's why people are putting on extra body fat, because the body is saying, holy goodness gracious, I cannot deal with these toxins. I'm going to have to stick them on her thighs or her butt or her backs of her arm because I just can't process them. And a lot of people say, oh, we were designed to detox. And yes, indeed we were, but we were never designed to suffer the onslaught of all these toxins that we're getting, and we need this help for detoxification. So, Robby, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we're going to see a video from Nico, so that's going to come on right after the break. We'll check in on our buddy Nico and Bigfoot. See you in a second.
Perfect. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Up next, 9 before 9 with John Logan on TFNN.
Oh, I know exactly where we are. Matt, you do too. That's the bend on the road. I don't know if they saw they did some clearing there, like dozed it a little bit. Wow, I didn't know it was this close. Cool, I know exactly. We could actually walk up the road, you guys. You want to do that? Wow. So this is a closed road. I'm talking to the camera over here, and we managed to keep coming up. We walked out. I didn't film that place I've been doing the gifting, and half of the apples are gone, and with no trace, and the other half are still there. Can't figure that one out. All right, cool. So you see the X's on the backside of this one? So there's another what we'll call wallow, and we'll just copy Rio.
Yeah.
I think Rio, you coined the phrase there.
Yeah, I think you did.
But I've seen someone else once was looking up at like, Rio, that is not the definition of a wallow. You were wrong. And it's like, he's just making up a name. It could be anything. You know, you can call it Bob if you want. You know, I think it fits. I'm gonna go with Rio on that one.
End of the pine stuff.
I tagged, look over here, see behind, see the X's behind?
It is. We just walked through it.
Yeah, look at the X behind, see it? Look over there, Nico.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that one from below.
Oh, yeah, look.
This was originally here. Yeah. But the second one over there wasn't.
Sure looks like it, doesn't it? Hey, Nico, when you pointed out this big one, you missed the little tiny one. Oh, yeah? Right next to it, the same thing, and it bends in. You see it? And it's tucked under. Little baby. You know, I see it all the time, the big one, little one.
There you go. That's our Nico de Haan making us proud at Colorado Bigfoot. And for those of you that don't know, it was really amazing because Marc, the guide, was just bragging on our Nico yesterday. He was saying, I can't believe it. He's got the voice of a 30-year-old. And as we all know, you can tell a lot about a person's health by the sound of their voice. And he was amazed at Nico. It's 72, 73 years old, being able to hike up the 9,000, 10,000. Just goes when you live a primal lifestyle. It's all good. Robby, you're all set up, aren't you?
Well, yeah. Can you see me in here?
I see ya.
And how about this? See my hands?
Oh, hands-free all the way. I love it.
So here I am, first time ever reporting from my infrared sauna. And, you know, our dear friend Steve McCline, I mean, many times when we're doing our conference calling, he's sitting in the sauna, he's multitasking, he's got his keyboard in front of him.
No excuse. No excuse. Get healthy, get your exposure to the different wavelengths of light and get things done, because you literally can work on your computer that way, right?
Yep, that's what I do. I'll answer my emails, or I'll be working in a different time zone, generally in the morning. You know, it's a different time zone somewhere else in the world. So I'll be working with the factories and so forth. And, you know, so when you're sitting in here, what you do is you basically bring a little towel with you so that as you're sweating, you just keep moving take the sweat off of you, because like I said earlier, 85% of your poison sits in your sweat. So you just want to keep working it off your body as you're sweating. So you sit on a towel, you wrap yourself in one, you wear skimpy clothes so that you get a fair amount of skin exposure, and that's pretty much it. You know, it does itself. It does all the work for you. And a half an hour of this, Paige, a day, my God, you know, drink a little bit of water before and after, and you feel like, you know, after a week or two, you start getting your energy back. For people that have chronic fatigue, they start feeling great. For people that are going for weight loss, in a matter of a month or so, they can lose nice, healthy weight loss, like 2.5, 3 pounds, not changing anything in their...
It's just amazing, Robby. As always, it's a thrill to have you on the show. It looks like we're all done for today, but we'll talk with you again. Team LPL saves you free shipping on all Theragoods products. All caps, Team LPL, save on all Theragoods products. Thank you, Robby. See you all next week.
Take care.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.